Cosmo Macero of O'Neill & Associates, Peter Kagis of the Boston Phoenix, who is back on the Matt Castle bandwagon, by the way. This one wants Manny back. Forget about it, Cosmo. Let's get right to it, gentlemen. We're a week away from the elections. This time next week, we're all going to be going to the polls. Drudge asked the question. I will ask you the same. Can every poll in the country be wrong? Is there still a race going on for president?
Yeah, I don't think every poll can be wrong. I think there's, a serious hill to climb here that just may not be surmountable for McCain. Couldn't get out of his own way from the beginning, and unfortunately, that's the way it's going.
Now Palin's the problem, according to the McCain campaign.
Well, Palin may be the problem. Listen, I think Palin's going to vote for Obama the way things are going. Look, I think the story here is Obama's focus, his sticking on the plan, and his relentless march forward. He's had to overcome, I think, really tremendous odds. Look at the amount of money he's spent. Now, I think it's a tribute to his campaign because what he's done is he's gone out and persuaded a largely skeptical America to vote for him. And I think that's a real achievement.
Either of you going to be watching the half-hour Obama-thon on television?
Yeah, it's number 3 on my TV. I think I might miss that one.
No, I'm looking for it. I want to see what he does. I think Obama is a tremendous...
Enthralled is the word.
Yeah, no kidding.
Enthralled.
Wow.
Listen, even a paleo...
Over the moon?
Even a paleo-conservative like...
Get used to this for the next couple of years.
I'm ready.
Wow.
Like Pat
I'm ready.
Buchanan said during the primaries that Obama is a political thoroughbred. Look, there's going to be plenty to criticize him about if, in fact, he wins.
Is this a case of him stepping forward, though, or is it the other one just stepped back? Has McCain been as weak a candidate as is possible in the last month?
McCain has never had the money to compete, and he never had the message if he had the money. So it's a double whammy. He just never got going.
This redistributor label that he's sticking on Obama should be good under normal circumstances, but it has no traction this time around.
Because people's pocketbooks are at stake. All the sort of silliness that has dominated past campaigns, there's no place. People are voting their fears, they're voting their pocketbook. Look, there's a certain symmetry here. The nation's most inept president has been followed by what's got to be history's most inept campaign.
I think all that time...
that's going too far. You forget the Bob Dole
I think all that time that he was sitting on his hands while Obama was duking it out with Hillary wound up hurting him. He just didn't have his game.
All about the Benjamins. Cat just had it right the first time. When you're outspending your opponent 5-1, you're going to win 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, I should say. Let's go a little closer to home now. Cosmo, you've been itching to give me your I love big government and I'm going to support it in their time of need screen.
No way.
Let's talk about question 1. And, gee, where do you stand, Cosmo?
I'm with Tim Murray on this. I'm no cube. All across the board, 1, 2, 3, I'm against it. Number 1 goes too far. Number 3, I don't think it's necessary. It's not really relevant. And number 2...
It's not relevant. Apparently you're not a greyhound.
And no, it's
normally confused for one, by the way.
And number 2, and I'm proud to say I've worked on the campaign against number 2. Let me save some special contempt for that. There's only one beneficiary of number 2, and that's drug dealers. Bad policy, terrible public policy.
I'll gloss over the irony of a guy that's against question 2 who used to make brownies in college at UMass. I won't get into that. Peter, question 1, everybody, you've heard Cosmo's take on it. Is it just too risky, or is it time to give the finger to Beacon Hill?
It's more than giving the finger to Beacon Hill. As tempting though that might be, Cosmo's right. Cosmo is right. It's an extremely irresponsible and dangerous thing to do. You don't like the people at Beacon Hill? Throw them out.
What happened to you two? Soft in stature, soft in the voting booth. You got one shot only to send a message here, and you guys are sending the message of, you're okay with me, guys. That is the message. I'm sorry.
You don't have kids. Anyone with kids, anyone concerned about schools, question 1 is a disaster.
It's good to know in your old age you two can still be, the fear factor can still work on it.
Now, question 2 on the other
anyone who's involved.
Now the Phoenix is coming.
Anyone who's concerned about human services and taking care of the needy in Massachusetts, as I am in my community. Question 1, and I'm on
the needy in Belmont,
and I'm on the board of an organization in Cambridge. It's not the right message. The message should not be to give up on providing for those in need.
Let's go to question 2 for a second. America's drug laws are crazy. we have
We have some of the most lenient drug laws in Massachusetts.
We
already.
have a chance.
Show me a kid who's in jail as a result of having less than 2
Show me
ounces
one.
of pot.
Show me one victim.
Show me a guy who can't get an apartment
Anyone
for
who
that reason.
believes in marijuana reform, I believe it should be decriminalized myself.
Well, that's what they want here.
Should vote in favor of question number 2. Question number 3, I'm very mixed. You know, I hate to say it, I love dogs, but in an economy where people are losing their jobs, I've got to think twice about anything that's going to put
When I said it was irrelevant, I meant the industry is going in a certain direction. Let's not speed it in the direction of putting people out of their jobs.
Quickly, one last. You mentioned the economy, and in these tough times, we're all having to sacrifice. Here's the last question for you, gentlemen, especially for you, Cosmo. With this tough economy, what are the trick-or-treaters going to get at the Macero house this year?
One candy going, one fun-size Snickers. Sorry,
we're going to be we're going to be giving a boost to the dental industry. Plenty of candy, plenty of sugar.
One fun-size Snickers. Now they'll know what it's like to trick-or-treat in Moscow. Unbelievable.
Tough times.
Well, didn't you give
doesn't
granola
want to repeal
a
the
couple
income
years
tax
ago?
and doesn't want the kids to have candy.
It beats
Good to have you,
granola.
Joe Stalin. Great to see you. Peter Kagis of the Phoenix. They are the heavy hitters.